Hello everyone. Today's session is about the CentreStack multi-tenant system and then how you map the storage location to each tenant. So it's a multi-tenant solution and then each tenant can be assigned a specific storage location. And that storage location can be from a local file server, local C drive, or a cloud storage service provider such as Amazon S3 Bucket or Windows Azure Storage. So let's get in and take a look at the tenants first. So you can see here we have 3 different tenants for now. There's always a default tenant. So if you go and check out the default tenant, so for convenience, for now, it's set up to C drive, and you can always change it to map to a different location. So if this is the first time you set up the solution, by default, it's set up to C drive, but it doesn't have to. You can always change it and change it to a different location. And all these tenants are set up the most kind of the easiest way. So you can see they are all kind of derive their folder location from C drive. So that's the default location. It's kind of just making sure everything just you install it and it just works. But for now, I'm going to guide you and lead you to a little bit deeper into kind of under the hood, how the storage is set up. So then you can map a tenant's storage to a location that controlled by you. So now what I'm doing here is I create a folder called ACME3. So this folder I created on the C drive, but it doesn't have to. You can create on, let's say, a file server. And because we are trying it on a C drive and normal like Windows file system, so it's NTFS permission and the user who can access the folder, that's always the question. So we go ahead and create a user called ACME3. So this is a Windows user. In the demonstration here, it's a local Windows user, local to the specific machine we have here. But in practice, most likely the ACME3 folder will be created on a file server, probably in a domain, and then you can use a domain admin or domain user or service account to connect to the folder. And you can do it such as that, tenant 1 is using tenant 1 user to connect to, and then tenant 2's folder, you're using a different Windows user to connect to. So it's flexible, and you can use different users to connect to different tenants, so you can separate them away from each other, kind of sandbox them away. So what we are going to do now is we're going to create a user, and then the user is going to be called acme3@gladinet.com. So that's the admin account for this specific tenant. So if you are a service provider, you're probably just going to, that user is probably just going to be the user you're talking to, you're selling this solution to. And the first option is kind of like the easiest one, but we're not going to be using it because we want to have a little bit more control. So CentreStack solution is all about security and control. So now we are exercising our control. We are going to set up this ACME3 tenant and then point that directly to a specific location. For now, I'm using C drive. I'm using a Windows local user, so that's all cool. And you can just set it up to a file server and use an AD user. So if you are using an AD user, you just replace that ACME3 username with a domain prefix and then backward slash, right? So for now, I'm using local user, but you can use file server and you can use AD user, or you can use, the last option is you can use cloud storage. But if you are using cloud storage, then, there's no Active Directory user to connect to. You can just use bucket or access key or, secret key. That's the Amazon S3 terminology. You can always assign the folder later to an Active Directory user, but you just don't use Active Directory user credential to connect to it, right? Because under the hood, Amazon S3 doesn't have a concept of Active Directory. They may have identity, Amazon identity user, but so Active Directory is something the CentreStack can hook into. So now we have this ACME3 user, which is a new tenant we created. So we are going to be just logging into it to check it out. So okay, there's a tutorial, so that's fine. We skip that. I'm a power user, so I just skip it, and I'm seeing two folders, documents and pictures. So those folders are kind of pre-created for me. You know, if without those folders, you're looking at a blank screen, so you may not know what's going on. So those folders are kind of created to tell you, hey, you know, what you're looking at is, you know, files and folders instead of an admin portal. But you can always get into the admin portal from the right-hand corner, up right corner. Those are the places to get into admin portal. So I created a test file. So upload it, drag and drop, right? So all the modern web browsers support that. So that's the first version of the file. And if I go to this specific folder, you can see ACME3 has this file. So you know, okay, you know, the CentreStack system is helping me point my tenant to that specific folder, and I can find my files there. So now what I do is I modify the file and upload again. So this file should have two different versions now, version 1 and version 2. And you can see there are two versions, right? One has 11 bytes and one is 26 bytes, right? So the second version has a little bit more. But if you look at the ACME folder, so there's only one file, right? So what happened to the how's version control done in a storage location here? So let's find out. So there's a thing, you know, there may be a folder that's hidden. So let's check on hidden, and then you can see there's an underscore verse underscore folder showing up. And then if you click into it, there's an old copy of ACME3 file with some name decoration to give it a little bit more information about the history and version and, you know, other stuff. So let's use Notepad to open it. So you can see this was the version 1. So the version was hidden into a folder. And now this is the head version, which is the version 2. So as a quick summary, each tenant can be mapped to a storage location, and then that storage location can be a file server or a remote cloud storage. And then with CentreStack, we can put version control on top of the storage system there. Thank you.